All right, it is time for the executive's favorite part of any day, and it's winners and losers. We will do it 365 days a year.
We could.
Today is a bigger day because it's NFL trade deadline day. Chris Hassel, Kyle Long, Rick Spielman, who's made trades on deadline day, and Pete Prisco, who wishes he had. Let's start with winners. Pete, you're the oldest, so you can lead us off.
I'm the oldest, so I'm going to go back to a trade that was made for wide receiver Amari Cooper going to the Buffalo Bills.
You're going way back.
The Bills are the biggest winner to me. By getting Amari Cooper, it changes the entire dynamic of their offense. We sat there and we said, who are they throwing to? Who's going to be the #1 wide receiver? I thought it would be Dalton Kincaid. Teams doubled him. It wasn't him. Well, now you get Amari Cooper. You have a true #1. Kincaid doesn't get doubled all the time. It's helped open up the other guys. Keon Coleman's starting to make plays. And now the offense, which can run the ball, good offensive line. Amari Cooper has changed that entire offense. The Buffalo Bills are the biggest winners.
Khalil Shakir's been great, too.
Yeah, that's been great.
Rick, who's your winner?
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens when they got Deontay Johnson. And the reason I say that, you got Zay Flowers now. Now you got Deontay Johnson to go along with Bateman. You got Likely. You got Andrews. And then they got a two-headed monster in Lamar Jackson running the ball. And also the king, Derrick Henry. To give Lamar Jackson, who I think has really improved as a in-pocket passer, now to get him another weapon, and Deontay Johnson can definitely separate out of his breaks versus man coverage. Similar route runner to me than Zay Flowers. It gives him another big play and reliable veteran receiver to make this push Baltimore wants to make to get to the Super Bowl.
I thought for sure, as Lamar Jackson comes off another perfect passer rating game, I thought for sure Rick would have picked the Lions.
But for me, it's the Lions, and I feel like so often you go and you try to get a pass rusher, and you know how pass rushers are. They're a little bit like receivers. You got to tend to their needs, and they're not necessarily divas, but they're not necessarily glass eaters. Well, Dan Campbell went out and he got himself a glass eater, was Zadarius Smith.
Knee biter.
To add to Aaron Glenn's defensive unit. And I think it's really important that when you're looking at this trade, you're not looking at trying to replace Aiden Hutchinson. You can't do that from a production standpoint, from a demeanor standpoint, what he means to that defense. But this guy, Zadarius Smith, experienced veteran, been in the NFC North a long time, understands how the game works in this division. He's a great acquisition for this team, and I think they're the winners.
How does he feel leaving the mess that is the Cleveland Browns and going to a team that might be the best?
He's been on 40 teams already.
Well, that's one of the you said how you used to hold your breath that you didn't get traded.
Yeah.
He thought he hit the lottery when he went from Cleveland to Detroit.
Him and Hopkins, both of them excited.
Those are your winners. Pete, you can lead us off on losers, and it's a team that's sitting atop a division right now.
Yeah, it's the Falcons, and we talked about it earlier. They had to make a move. Their defense is not very good right now. They're going to score a ton of points, and Kirk Cousins is playing well. Your guy, he's playing really good football, and they're going to score a lot of points. That puts a lot of pressure on the opposition to go score points. Well, the best way to combat that is to knock the other guy down, and that means you have to have a pass rush. I'm not real thrilled with what they did in terms of addressing the pass rush. Judon has not been what they thought he would be, at least from what I thought he would be. And so look at it from that standpoint. They needed to go get a pass rusher. They didn't. That's going to be a problem going throughout the rest of the season and on into the postseason.
I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers, but they were winners because of what they got, a 4th-round pick for Mingo, but Bryce Young is the biggest loser. They have 3 receivers left on their roster. Adam Thielen's still on IR. You got Coker, who was a rookie college free agent. You have Leggett, who I think is going to be a legitimate guy, and Moore, who's just a guy. So he has no offensive weapons to throw to. So you're trying to develop this kid, and you're not giving him a chance with the receivers. It's worse than it was last year.
Is it even fair to put him out there the rest of the season without anybody to...
Or is it fair to the wide receivers for him to be out there? I mean, let's go the other way, too.
Does a kid have a chance with those 3 receivers?
It's always an excuse with you with that guy.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. It's a bad receiver group. I get it.
For me, the group I'm not going to give the excuse to is the Dallas Cowboys. And we talked about this at length. And, you know, with Cooper Rush coming into this lineup, they go out and they get a receiver. And I'm scratching my head a little bit about this, not only about what's coming in, but what's coming out the door for Dallas. You're looking ahead to next year. This is not the team that's going to go to the playoffs.
They're all in.
This is not the team that's going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not quite sure what kind of punch Jerry's drinking on his bus, but they need to check him. They need to get the breathalyzer on old Jer, okay? Because he's wiling out a little bit. And I think the Dallas Cowboys, they need a lot of changes. This is not one of them. They needed to get a running back, to your point. Herbert was out there in the last couple days, and now he's elsewhere.
Yeah, 4th-round pick they gave up for Jonathan Jonathan Mingo, who is yet to catch a touchdown.
The price is ridiculous. The price is absurd. Okay, if you want Jonathan Mingo, go give him a 6 for him, but a 4th? That's ridiculous. That makes no sense to me.
All right, those are your winners and losers. But, guys, how about a team that maybe you thought had an opportunity to build for the future, sell off some assets that just didn't do enough?
That didn't sell off assets? I thought Jacksonville would sell off more than they did.
They can't sell it. They sold a lot of people off.
Really? Who they sell off? Cam Robinson and?
The defensive tackle, right?
They could have sold off. They were going to sell off Kirk. He got hurt. They couldn't sell him off. So I would have peddled ETN. I would have definitely peddled him around to see if anybody wanted him. They did pick up the 5th-year option, so that might have been prohibitive for him. You could have sold some of your one of your linebackers or 2 of your linebackers to teams that were in linebacker needy. He only has 22 of them on the roster, and so I think they could have sold off some of their assets. And quite frankly, I would have traded ETN. I would have done everything I could to get rid of him. You talk about the Cowboys, maybe the Cowboys would have.
How about the Patriots? Just a couple weeks ago, he was calling a couple of his guys soft. Maybe you can get a couple of those guys out the door and get some value.
That's not a way to advertise guys you want to move.
Get some value in return for some of these guys. Or maybe bring in some tough guys. Do what you can to bring in some tough guys. Patriots could have made some moves.
Okay, I'm going to go off the script here. I'm going to say the Miami Dolphins. And Calais Campbell, and why they wouldn't move him. They're 2-6 right now. I understand Tua's back, but I don't know if they have a chance to catch the Buffalo Bills since Buffalo just beat them again up in Buffalo. So I would have started maybe looking at Miami, adding some draft picks and rebuilding for next year.
How about teams that potentially could have made moves, should have made moves to make a jump? These teams, I mean, we've seen the Chiefs make a move. The Bills made, Steelers made 2 moves today.
I mean, me and Pete were just talking, earlier we were talking about the offensive tackle position with the Chiefs. And, I mean, it's been the chief complaint of my guy Pete Prisco over here for the last few weeks with that offensive line. So if you're trying to make it a real shot, you go get an offensive lineman. But I don't know. I think they get it done.
Well, when you think about it, though, they're great in the middle of that line. I mean, arguably the 3 all-pros at each one of those positions, and they still have line concerns. That tells you what the focus should be. They should have went and got Cam Robinson. No question about that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with our producer, Jellyfish Jack's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to go with them. They should have went out and got another receiver. Mike Evans, I know, is coming back. Kate Otten's done a phenomenal job over the past couple of weeks, but he can't replace with the receivers what they had with Godwin and Evans. When Evans come back, it would have been nice to see them add another receiver.
Yeah, we could see how smart Liam Cohen is. The offense seems to change every week for what they need. Guys go down, different guys step up. You throw another
coaching candidate next year.
Throw another receiver in there, and you watch. You let Liam Cohen cook, as the kids say, and he has been cooking.
You're not on a search committee anymore, are you?
Who knows?
He did do a good job with the one in Washington.
Should your Bears have done something to change the vibe up a little bit? These
hey, look, I mean, if you're really going to ask me, there's a lot of concerns I have about that building, but the way that Virginia McCaskey and George McCaskey, they handle their business, they do it at the end of the season. They don't fire anybody mid-season, and obviously I don't think they're going to move from any of their superstars. Do they have some regrets? Probably, but I don't think we see them make any moves until the offseason.
Here's the other thing. The Saints made a move, but should they have made more moves, or did they try to make more moves? Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, you have veteran guys in there.
They fired their
Honey
coach.
Badger. I'm talking about getting rid of assets and trying to pick up more draft picks. Their cap is awful.
Honey Badger would look good in red right now. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Chiefs red?
Any red.
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Well, that's winners and losers. That's teams that should have done more,
Cardinals
teams that
red?
could have done more.
Cardinals red?
Chiefs red.
Pushing the pile. Today's show kind of previewed the deadline day. I'm guessing tomorrow you'll be able to. You know what? You should do winners and losers tomorrow.
Today's podcast was disgusting. If you listen to it, you're a sicko. Don't listen to it. It was so disgusting. It was the best. It was the best.
I was on today.
That's what I mean.
It was good.
Pete.
I'm doing the anti-marketing.
Pete Prisco
We
Tuesdays.
picked the greatest. We picked the how to make a great guard in every trait.
Yes.
That's what we did.
That is a sicko.
Whole lot of Quentin Nelson.
Yep.